empathy, where the mother, that she's a very wise woman, and she is the connection to nature. And what men have done with their left brain thinking since the agricultural revolution is created hierarchies, allowed men to be in charge of things with all the ego, testosterone fueled power that men have, and allowed slavery, surpluses, and other things to come. So, let's make it more controversial. What I think is going on, we have, for the last however many thousands of years, an ongoing female holocaust. And I can, read as many press statements or as many things saying, oh, these women are free. They wear these things because they're free. Because they're pious and they're hiding their sexuality. And, men are bad. And we dress our women like whatever that is. There's no words. It's like, ninja penguins. Okay, you can see my arrest by the politically correct police any moment now. But when you look at the statistics from the UN or any other statistic, 1/3 of women around the world have their first sexual experience as rape. So in this world, say there's 3.5 billion women, that's 1 billion women have had rape or sexual abuse as their first ever experience. And I believe it stems from religion, using patriarchy. Big religions like, look at Christianity. Priests not allowed to have sex because they're scared of women. Terror at the female energy, because you cannot have a pyramid control religion if people believe in a goddess, if they believe in Mother Earth, if they laugh at men trying to organize these churches and things. And also, when you try and repress the female energy, the priests, the Pope, will we see a female Pope? I don't think so. Weird things happen. They start raping children. And priests and children go back a long way. They can't get enough of each other, unfortunately. And it's a sick, sad thing, but it seems almost inevitable. You ban sex. And I've lived in many, I've lived in 2 Islamic countries. I lived in Qatar and Saudi Arabia. And I was arrested by Saudi Arabian police for kissing my girlfriend in public at the age of 15. We got dragged into a room, and I had a gun waved at me. And we got told by our parents, don't kiss, don't hold hands. It's just Saudi Arabia. It's like the most conservative Muslim country in the world. Don't hold hands. And I gave her a kiss on the cheek by accident, because I forgot. And we got dragged into a cell. And I'm 15 years old, she was 15 years old, she burst into tears. I try and console her. I had a Saudi Arabian policeman grab me and said, don't you touch that whore. And waving a gun at me, saying, you think you can come to our country and treat your girlfriend like a whore? It's terror of the female. Absolute terror. And let's look at the Quran, that lovely book. I'm really going to get into trouble. But these are just facts from the Quran. Let the Muslims argue with me, no problem. A woman in Islam can only inherit 1/4 of the parents' estate as her male brothers. Because women aren't as important. About 1/4 as important as men. Women can't testify in court. Wait for it, the reason. Because women are likely to remember the last thing the last man told them. Believe the last thing. In Saudi Arabia, women aren't allowed to drive. And I know some of you making jokes in your heads right now. But all I see, I lived in Whitechapel for 2 years in London, very Muslim area. And a lot of the young women there, they're all like, like proper London girls, but wearing the veil, the burqa. And I think it's very sad. And what that does, it hides them away from society 100%. And I don't think banning the burqa is going to make it better. It's going to make it worse. You ban something, it makes it worse. What we need to try and do is slowly educate and help them realize that they are victims of a woman-hating religion, much like Christianity is also a woman-hating religion. And they are victims as much as any of us are victims. And when I see something like this, I can't make out the facial expressions on any of them because they're hidden away. And I'm sure many of you have got your own thoughts about this. But just to make it clear for the camera as well, I'm against all religions. I don't discriminate. Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, they're all equally the same. They are all mind control, brainwashing tactics. It just so happens with Islam it's very visible. Aha! Many of you have probably seen the film 300. It tells the story of the Spartan defense of Greece against the one-world slave army of the Persians, King Xerxes and his son Cyrus. I've read a couple of books on the Persian slave army invasion of Europe. The best one I found is Persian Fire. I can't remember the author, but it's very relevant to today. We had a kind of a one-world government, the Persian Empire, biggest empire in the world at the time, made up of millions of slaves, much like we have the kind of European Union, the kind of American NATO alliance, made up of hundreds of millions of slaves, trying to invade a fiercely independent small country with free men and free women. And the metaphors for now are incredible. How, a small group of people standing up against all the odds, and that's what we need to do as well. And I love this film because it's fantastically ridiculous, but it's based on fact. And everything I've just said about the goddess, the Spartans, the Spartan women knew their place. The Spartan woman's at the top. And this is a great scene in the film where the Persian ambassador turns up and he starts insulting the Greeks, saying these Spartans are all slaves, they're all scumbags. And the queen, King Leonidas' wife, she makes some comment. And the Persian ambassador says, "Oh, how dare you let your women talk when men are talking?" And she says to him, "You know what? Only Spartan women give birth to real men." And this guy carries on threatening the Spartans with war and famine and slavery. And King Leonidas gets very stressed because his queen is being insulted. And before he kicks them down the pit, the Spartans kill the Persian ambassador. He turns around to his wife and looks at her, and she gives him the nod. Yeah, she gives him the knowing. Yeah. And that's right. Like the female energy in this universe is, by definition, I would say, wiser. Women don't have that aggressive. Okay, maybe some do, but they don't have that testosterone-fueled, ego-driven want to start armies. And okay, Maggie Thatcher did, but I'm still unsure whether she had balls or not. So I'm not sure she was a real woman. And also at the end of the film, King Leonidas, facing certain death, his last words before he died was, "My queen, my life." So in a way, he's a privateer in service to the goddess. And I am as well. I'll never bow down before another man, but I'll bow down before my mum. She's a harsh woman, and my girlfriend. And if we had a bit more people, I think, trying to get the female of our species into government, into politics, into corporations, then we might see a reduction in killing, or not. But this film is perfect as a metaphor for how, as soon as you make the decision to resist oppression, you've already won. As soon as you make that internal decision in your hearts that you're not going to take it anymore, that you've won. People might say, "Oh, it's all in your mind," but so's everything else. Perception is all there is. Do you really think those electrical impulses hitting the back of your eyeballs, going down the retinal nerve, do you think that's a true movie with like little people in there? That's electrical signals. There's no real outside world. It's what you make of it. Life is what you make of it. Literally, life is what you make of it. Getting a bit more esoteric. You all know about the all-seeing eye and the eye at the top of the pyramid. Since I was a young kid, I would always draw eyes, and female eyes. And I was obsessed with eyes. I think eyes truly are the window to the soul. And coming back to the subjectivity thing and understanding other people, try and see the world from another person's eyes. And that includes a young hillbilly American soldier who had no options in life, and he joined the American army and he's now killing children in Iraq. We need to try and see things from their point of view. And when I'm out on the streets, speaking to police, I always take my sunglasses off so they can look into my eyes, and I look deeply into their eyes, and then that's a prelude usually to a hug. And when you've looked into someone's eyes really deeply, and